If you'd asked me 5 years ago, 6 years ago, I'd have said people who homeschool are nutcases. They're weird alternative people who are kind of paranoid and their children aren't socially adjusted and they're not properly educated. And now I would have the complete opposite view. The whole state education idea is an experiment, really, and I think now we can safely say it's an experiment that's failed.
Okay, we are at HOPE Festival. This place is a place of homeschooling. This is a festival that happens once a year, there for decentralisation, there for freedom, pushing back against the mainstream media. HOPE has been labelled by the mainstream media as being a conspiracy school. They've been attacked and they have been told they are far-right conspiracy theorists. Well, let's see if this is actually the case. Let's go and speak to people and let's get the real message across. What the mainstream media won't do is just highlight that these people are just ordinary individuals fighting for freedom and wanting to protect their children's future. What is it like being a far-right conspiracy theorist when supporting homeschooling?
What, supporting homeschooling is a conspiracy theory now? I wasn't aware. I think that mainstream education is very harmful to young minds, especially coming out of it myself and having so many rants about the schooling system, even before I was fully aware of the full extent of the corruption going on. But I was starting to get a hint.
What's it like being dubbed as a far-right conspiracy theorist for supporting homeschooling?
It's part of the process to bring in the new, which is happening, whether they like it or not. And the old, worn-out structure of the past, the shaky throne of counterfeit authority, is crumbling.
It's the fact that I get to be fascist, racist, sexist, misogynist, all of those things without actually doing them. That's the great thing about it.
Yeah.
You see, I get to be labelled that way, which is heartwarming because it means I'm having an effect on idiots. So.
I think that calling me crazy for saying something true is a bit weird.
Just makes us sensible.
Yeah.
Just makes us. It's right to do the right thing.
First of all, it's not a school. It's a place of positive energy and natural teaching.
Hope is important because it connects people with the same like minds. It brings people to a level of consciousness in a concentrated area where everyone's spreading awareness of different types of good willing, good positive energy things. All sorts, whether it comes down to health or politics. It's just a very well put festival where people are awake and clear-minded. And why I like it, I love a good dance personally. I like to dance. I like to meet people that are also on the same wavelength.
Lovely people, good vibe, simple as that. Yeah, we're all connected by same ideas, by similar going against the system.
A freer life for children, a freer life for everybody, whether it's teaching children out of a certain system, teaching people how to cope with what's going on with the government, whatever it is. And the music is amazing, so it's a place where people can come and be the best versions of themselves.
What are the effects of homeschooling on kids? Why is it important?
Because it doesn't come with all the indoctrination and stuff that you don't need to know about. Do you know what I mean? It's about real life experience, learning how to, first of all, be a man and a woman, grow into a man and a woman, rather than a corporate slave to the system.
I think nowadays school isn't the same as it used to be. There's no hope anymore. There's no sense of learning anything good. They just learn stuff that's not good for them anymore. I think that homeschooling is better because you're learning stuff about, you're learning new things and learning stuff about yourself as well.
I did a bit of homeschooling when I was in primary school, and it was really beneficial, and it allowed me to have a bit of space from that systematic way of school. And why hope is good, obviously, as the reason I just told you. Yeah.
The whole idea of being able to see that there is actually some kind of alternative, because we're in the system, we're completely put into a sausage factory, right? And my 2 kids have gone through the sausage factory.
No, absolutely.
And so I love the fact that there is an alternative, and I totally support the fact that something like this exists. And I support it 100%, and I'm a system person.
I love the idea of homeschooling. I wasn't homeschooled, I went to a public school, and public schools as a whole are just so suppressing. The fact that you've all got to wear the same uniform, you can't
have any individuality at all, and it's just like, I mean, it's good in a sense, like bullying. If you all wear the same thing, it's very hard to be bullied. But then there are still ways that kids will find that insecurity and pick on you just for whatever reason. So like homeschooling, it's just a lot better. I don't know.
It's just because of the way all the transgender thing is being basically put onto our kids.
You're not allowed to have an alternate opinion.
It's just normalised in Brighton. You've got
yes.
Teenagers walking down the street with dogs' heads. It's dark.
And all their bits hanging out, like the naked bike ride. Yeah. Everyone thinks that's fine. And also, our band can't get a gig anywhere. So if we didn't do the festivals, we wouldn't do gigs because we are cancelled.
Yeah. The kids here are safe.
They are.
They don't have to deal with all that crap.
Yeah.
If I had kids, I wouldn't want to send them to mainstream schools.
Well, there are a lot of people now like me who were forced into homeschooling. You know, if you'd asked me 5 years ago, 6 years ago, I'd have said people who homeschool are nutcases. They're weird alternative people who are kind of paranoid and their children aren't socially adjusted and they're not properly educated. And now I would have the complete opposite view. But I was more or less forced into taking my children out of mainstream school through the mad measures that was going on at the time in 2020 and 2021. So, and I'm not going to say it's easy. It's a very difficult thing, particularly making that transition. If you've been in the system, coming out, you have to adjust family life completely, and it takes about a year to really get things set up.
Assuming you had kids right now, would you homeschool your children?
Absolutely.
Why?
Because I do not like putting my children, my creation, into the hands of someone who is not only like not family, not tribe, not related to you at all, but also has an agenda and wants to. It's not raising the children the kind of people that we want to see them. And I look at the kids that hang around here, the teenagers, the younger ones, and they just seem really cool and chilled, and they have a greater understanding, and a lot of them have a greater intellect level.
This is how it used to be. Education used to be more like what happens here. The whole state education idea is an experiment, really, and I think now we can safely say it's an experiment that's failed. And I can see with my, I've got 3 children, they're all very different needs, very different abilities, and they're thriving from not being in school. And the one thing you worry about is the social side as a parent. Are they going to still have friends? But because there are so many other families stepping out of the system, you can easily connect with other people who are doing it. And actually they have closer friends, they have a more vibrant social life than they did at school.
What would your message to the mainstream media be? Like, if you had the BBC sat in front of you right now, what would you say to them?
Well, it's time to sort of put some news out there, some real news out there. So, choose a side, because you've chosen the wrong side for a long time.
Well, I think it is pretty mad. Look how much enjoyment we are having. Everyone is having a festival here, we're enjoying ourselves, we're in the sun and getting vitamin D. A lot of people are grounding themselves as well and getting the electrolytes.
Like me.
You're not, but you're a city-bred boy, I suppose.
Mainstream media dubs this place as being a conspiracy school, right?
Yes.
What's your message to the mainstream media?
Well, arguably the biggest event of our lifetimes was the pandemic, or whatever you want to call what happened in those years of 2020, 2021, 2022. The whole world was turned upside down. And broadly speaking, the mainstream media got it totally wrong. And they would have to admit that in hindsight, we could see it at the time. In a very basic, fundamental way, most journalists failed to do their job. They failed to hold power to account. They failed to do any kind of investigative reporting, looking into what was actually happening and whether it was true or not. Now, we can argue about why that happened, and we can all come up with theories as to what was behind it, but the fact remains that they called it completely wrong, and they actually sort of now they've got a lot of work to do, I think, to earn back people's trust.
Okay, the mainstream media is we're all going to die one day. We will all stand in judgment before God. And think about what you're doing, the lies you're telling, and the influence you're having. You will stand in judgment one day. So everything that you do now, you may be getting away with it now, but that won't last forever.
This is a clearing out process. It's just getting it real, and so the BBC needs to start sort of reporting on what's really happening, because the people aren't going to be fooled anymore with, like, you know, gaslighting and just anything to keep us busy from actually waking up and being beautiful to each other.
Okay, so we are now coming to the end of the amazing Hope Festival. So, to answer the question, are the individuals that attend these events and support Hope far-right conspiracy theorists? No. They're people who care about their children, they care about their freedom, the future of this country, and this is a decentralised, proper environment for young people and even middle-aged or older people. Hope Sussex is an amazing community. This is the kind of thing we need to be supporting. Message to the mainstream media.
Fuck off.